Good evening from Pretoria, where the Oscar Pistorius trial has focused on the detailed examination of the crime scene. For several days now, Pistorius's defence team has tried to build a picture of a bungled and confused police operation. Key items like the gun which killed Reeva Steenkamp moved, and the cricket bat which Pistorius used to batter down the bathroom door, handled by different police officers. This morning, the police photographer was recalled to explain why, in defence lawyer Barry Rue's words, there was such a great disturbance of the crime scene. Sitting through all these proceedings was Reeva's mum, June Steenkamp, who's returned to the courtroom here in Pretoria. Paul Harrison now reports.
What happened on the night Oscar Pistorius shot Reeva Steenkamp relies largely on evidence collected by police in the hours that followed. Crime scene preservation then vital to the prosecution. Its potential contamination and mismanagement crucial to the defence. Okay. What was found where, who moved what and when, clearly questions on the mind of Pistorius's lawyer as he cross-examined the police photographer, one of the first on the scene. Using two separate images, the suggestion the cricket bat used by Pistorius to bash down the toilet door had been moved between photographs.
Can you see the line of the tile?
Sien meneer, hy streep van die teer.
Die streep.
Ja.
It runs through the E.
Dis korrek, ja.
In the next photo, Barry Rue claims the line now dissects a different letter.
Can you see where it dissects the word laser?
Korrek, julle.
Where does
my lady?
it? The letter?
R.
R.
So it seems there, but I'll get to it, I'll develop the point. It seems there was movement of the bat and not placed back in the same position.
Dit blyk so, julle.
It seems like that, my lady.
Do you know anything about it? Someone must have moved it.
Maar iemand moes dit geskryf het nie.
Dis korrek, julle.
Dit is correct, my lady.
Perhaps as a metaphor used to highlight what they believe was a bungled investigation, Pistorius's defence suggested the witness didn't know one side of a cricket bat from the other. It drew an angry response from the prosecution.
Which side of the bat is it that you see there?
Waterkant is dit wat meer hier sien?
Vir my die voorkant.
To me, it's the front part, my lady.
Have you ever played cricket?
Nee, julle.
No, my lady.
Have you ever watched cricket?
Ja, julle.
Yes, I did.
Have you ever seen them hitting the bat with the backside or the side that's not flat?
Nee, julle.
No, my lady.
Which side do they hit the ball?
Die platkant, julle.
The flat side, my
And
lady.
which side of the bat would face the bowler?
Die platkant, julle.
The flat side, my lady.
Which must be the front side.
I object, my lady. That cannot be put. I object, my lady. That cannot be put. The witness indicated what he perceived to be the back and the front of the bat. He gave an answer. He was ridiculed by saying how people bat. After he said, my lady, that what he perceived to be the back and the front side. I object to what was just now put. It cannot be put.
As Reeva Steenkamp's mother, June, watched on, the athlete's lawyer took issue with more key exhibits which appeared to have been moved as they were photographed, including the gun used to kill the 29-year-old model.
You can see there's a lining in the mat near the open hammer of the firearm. Do you see that?
Dis korrek, julle.
Correct, my lady.
Can you also look at the butt of the firearm to see if there's anything on it?
No, my lady, no, not what I can see here.
Would you please go to photo 105? You see the wooden splinter on the butt?
Ek doen nie, julle.
I do.
The butt's in a different position
As
in
in
relation
here,
to the fold and the line. Who changed the firearm?
The firearm massage was not changed, my lady. The carpet underneath the firearm could have been shifted, my lady.
Who put the splinter, the wooden splinter on the butt?
No one placed it there, my lady. It could have been transferred, as the witness says.
But Rue wasn't finished, painstakingly going through the albums of photographs. Things to him didn't quite add up. Firstly, why the delay photographing damage to the door leading to the main bedroom? Then, why was this CD positioned on the left when it was discovered under the bed? And why were sandals in the bedroom photographed 3 times in 3 different positions?
One standing together, one split apart.
Op 'n stadium was hulle saam daar
with the gym
gebeur.
bag.
Op 'n stadium was hulle.
Dis korrek, eerlik.
That is correct, my lady.
Who moved them every time for a photo to be taken?
Meneer, wie skief hulle? My lady, I do not know.
But it wasn't solely the reliability of the evidence which troubled Barry Rue. It was the trustworthiness of those collecting it, including the photographer, insisting he was on his own as he recorded the scene of the shooting.
When you took the photos, are you sure that you were alone up there?
Hy sê
On the
gaan
first
meneer
floor?
wie vra, meneer
What for
seker
the little part where Botha came to collect the guns?
dat
The cell phones?
Dis seker daarvan julle?
I'm sure about that, my lady.
And Colonel Motta?
And
Who's that?
that was somebody from the ballistic station, my lady.
I want you to listen carefully to what I put to you now.
Barry Rue then introduced new photographic evidence provided by the police, but not part of the prosecution's albums. Photos taken by another officer at the scene, Colonel Motta, which, in the defence's view, contradicted the witness's story. He was first to photograph the scene at just after 6 a.m. Motta's first photos were taken minutes earlier.
5:56 in the morning.
Vanaf 5:56 die oggend.
Do you want to say anything about that?
Police dan
Taking photos already at 5:56.
hoe die foto's wat
Julle kan niks daarop antwoord nie want ek het
My lady, I can't comment upon that because I'm not in possession of this person's photos as well as the record regarding the photos in front of me.
We're going to show you the photos in court. Those are the photos that we connected now here.
But the photographs, argued Rue, also proved Colonel Van Staden was in fact not alone as he worked through the scene.
Now I'll show you image 5370 of Colonel Motta. And again, subject to you checking, that was 6:05. Let's see where he was. That's his photo.
This
Where is that?
photo, the passage leading into the bathroom, my lady.
You could not have missed him.
You saw him nie kon
Same
vermas
time,
het.
same passage. Is it your version that you did not see him in that passage?
Meneer is dit die weergawe dat meneer hom nie naai gaan
Approximately 5
gesien het nie.
meters.
En hy 5 meter
Nee,
lank gaan.
ek het hom nie daar gesien nie.
No, my lady, I didn't see him there.
Please tell the
Tot
court
op
where you
100.
were at
Sê jy,
6:07
waar was hy? Inside the bathroom, my lady.
and the time.
En hoe laat is dit? 06:06.
You're satisfied you're in the bathroom.
Is nou tevrede, is nou binne in die badkamer.
Dis korrek, ja, julle.
I show
Dit
you
is
now
correct, my lady.
image 5373 of Colonel Motta. Where is that photo taken from?
That's the entrance into the bathroom, my lady.
Could you see the time?
06:07.
And you did not see Colonel Motta,
En
did you
ek
see
het
him
vir
now?
kolonel Motta gesien nie.
Julle nee. Ek het nie.
My lady, no, I did not see him.
How big is this bathroom?
Hoe groot is die badkamer aan?
Ongeveer 4 by 5 meter.
Approximately 4 by 4 meters.
Pistorius's legal team then turned to photographs the police chose not to include as evidence, such as this image of the athlete's cricket bat against a third mark on the toilet door. The prosecution argues Pistorius wasn't wearing his prosthesis as he broke down the door, and so point to 2 cricket bat marks lower down the door. The defence points to this third, much higher mark. So who chose to leave it out?
Well, I don't think, with respect, it was agreed to. My understanding is Vermeulen told you what he wanted in this album.
Ons het daaroor ooreengekom.
My lady, I'll say, Colonel Van Meulen and I came to an agreement. We consulted with each other, and he gave me an indication as to which photos I should use. And there's the photos we used, my lady.
Now, in reaching this agreement, what did you agree about this photo? Why should it not go in? The one that's now being shown on the screen. There are others as well. This is just a sample of it. How did it come about that you agree not to put it in?
The colonel looked at the photos which were important to him, and he said, these are the photos I would like to be inserted in the album.
So in this case, it was not a matter that you selected the photos to go into the album.
Of the
He
style.
told you what he wanted in, and you obliged.
While it may have been the Rue show for much of the day, a stirred Gerinel was determined to have the last word.
Interesting observation by Mr. Rue. He indicated that you and Colonel Motta must have been in the same passage.
Verstaan julle?
Do you see
I
yourself
understand
there?
Nee, julle.
No, my lady.
To take that close-up, you must be visible on that photograph, 537.
Om 'n naby foto van daai foto te neem, dan moet u op die foto's verskyn, seker nie?
Dis korrek, ja, julle.
That is correct, my lady.
Mr. Roop put to you that bat moved millimeters.
Dis reg, julle.
That is correct, my lady.
He put to you that the scene was changed because there was one crease where the gun is.
Dis reg, julle.
Correct, my lady.
I have to go through everything. He put to you that on the 16th, the scene was changed and the fan was moved.
Dis korrek, julle.
That is correct, my
He
lady.
put to you that the sandals were moved.
Dis korrek, julle.
Correct, my lady.
On the morning when you took photographs, did you move anything?
Nee, julle.
Did
No,
you
my
change the scene?
Het u die toneel verander?
Nee, julle.
No, my lady.
Coming up, a police ballistics expert tells the court how he tracked the bullets that killed Reeva Steenkamp through the bathroom door. Welcome back to Pretoria, where Oscar Pistorius is facing his third week on trial for the premeditated murder of his girlfriend Reeva Steenkamp. Well, after the lunch recess, a police ballistics expert was called. He explained how he used tradition and modern science, steel rods and laser beams, to track the path of the bullets.
Captain, how did you get involved in this matter?
I was asked to examine the bullet at the door for the bullet trajectories and terminal ballistics, which means the effect of the bullet on the target. I was requested that to take the door and go back to the crime scene to reconstruct the incident there. I took the measurements of the bullet hole, 93.5 centimeters from the floor, 104.3 centimeters, 99.4 centimeters, 97.3. Yeah, I noticed the marks on the tiles, whereby it's on two different walls. The bullet ricocheted on the first wall and deflected to the
It means
second
it
wall.
hits the first and then?
It first hit the wall and then deflects to another wall to that side, so creating both holes. I used the yellow steel rod in illustrating the direction of the bullet and the angle of the bullet. Now, these steel rods illustrate the trajectory of the bullet as it perforates the door. Out of the 4 shots, it's only one bullet that has hit the wall inside the toilet. Now it means the 3 other bullets have disappeared between the door of the toilet and the wall. This indicates that these 3 bullets most probably has hit the target or somebody inside the toilet. Now, in this instance, it's going to be difficult for me to determine the exact angle of the trajectories. The one that has perforated the door and then hit the wall inside the toilet. With that one, I could determine the angle. Put a laser on the tripod and with the same angle of that I found with the steel rods. Went through bullet hole mark B on the door and straight to bullet hole mark E on the wall. I closed the door and the laser beam went through the bullet hole mark B. The height of the laser was 130 centimeters from the ground. I've measured the distance from the toilet door to the center of the tripod where the laser is positioned, and it was 220 centimeters. Now, firstly, I have requested the crime scene photos. I could see blood on the crime scene, but I wanted also to know the position of the deceased. My lady, for me to reconstruct the scene, I have to see the injuries sustained by the deceased, and I have to see the position of all the injuries sustained so that I can reconstruct the incident. I requested the post-mortem photos with the vest that was worn by the deceased. Now, in this vest, I had to check on the possible bullet holes on the vest. Now, what I could find that there was holes on the right-hand side of the vest, and there was also body tissues on the right chest of the vest, my lady. On photograph number 55, it's a close photo of the wound on the right upper arm of the deceased, and it has characteristics of an entrance wound. Photograph 57 shows the position of the wound on the hip of the deceased. I wanted the height of the wound also. It's the bruise on the chest of the deceased. there was an impact on the deceased chest, but the projectile did not penetrate the deceased chest, my lady. Photograph 62, it shows the bruises on the back of the deceased here.
What does that indicate?
This indicates the wound sustained by the deceased between the middle finger and the pointing finger on the right, on the left hand. Photograph 65 shows the two wounds in the head of the deceased, which are positioned on the right hand side just above the right ear. Now the photograph towards the front is the entrance wound, the bullet entrance wound, and then the one towards the back is the exit bullet wound. Now when I look at the version of the accused, he stated that when he fired the shot, he was not wearing the prosthesis, so he was on his thumb. Now in this incident, for me to reconstruct the crime scenes, I had to get the height of the accused so that I can be able to determine whether he was wearing the prosthesis or he was not wearing the prosthesis. The height of the accused with the prosthesis was 184 centimeters. And the height of the accused without the prosthesis was 155 centimeters.
Well, joining me now is former police photographer Rinus Viljoen, our ballistics expert Tjerns Brits, and our very own special correspondent Alex Crawford. Rinus, let me start with you. Former police photographer. We heard today from the current police photographer that he managed to fill in his examination of this scene 15 albums of photographs, and it caused a lot of confusion. Is that an unusually high number?
It's not at all unusual. You know, you have to be thorough in what you're doing as a crime scene expert. You have to make sure everything gets documented to the T. There's no leeway for any error.
The accusation from Barry Rue again and again was that things in the crime scene had been moved. So as a crime scene photographer, are you allowed to move the exhibits around?
You are, after you made sure that you photographed each and every exhibit before touching anything. You have to, if things need to be lifted, if exhibits need to be lifted, you have to do it. But you have to make sure it gets documented the right way.
One of the things that was discussed during his evidence was it seemed to be as important about the things he did photograph as it was with the things he didn't photograph. And he was tackled about the blood on the bedroom wall, the marks on the bedroom door. How do you decide, or who decides exactly what you're going to photograph at a crime scene?
Crime scene is not just in front of you, it's all over the place. So as a crime scene photographer, you need to make sure that you get every single detail. Even if you think it's not important, it might be in a court case afterward, post crime scene.
But who tells you what? Are you on
you
your
have
own,
you have to know these stuff. You, as a criminalistic expert, you get trained.
But you can't photograph everything, can you?
You can.
It's important to remember that the investigating officer on the crime scene will also lead the photographer. He'll give him a background of what happened. Remember, the photographer that comes on the scene doesn't know exactly what's happened there. So he will get a brief from the investigating officer saying, we suspect that a murder was committed, and can you please focus on the following for me? So that will be the main lead for the photographer of what to look at.
But what about this issue of, and it keeps coming up, doesn't it, the blood on the bedroom wall, the damage to the bedroom door. Now, the prosecution hasn't explained where this fits in, but we all think this is, at the end of the day, going to be evidence put forward by the prosecution of a row between Oscar and Riva. How important do you think this material is?
I think they're trying, to me it seems they want to prove that something happened, there was a struggle or something happened before the shooting. And I think it will become quite important evidence if that is what they want to put to court, that something happened before the time that his photo's been taken of that.
Our second witness today was the ballistics expert who talked about, he was very precise, talking about the measurements he took of Oscar Pistorius. Now, why is that important? Because everybody, or both sides, agree that Pistorius was on his stumps when he fired the shots through the bathroom door. Why is it still crucial to explore how high he was, how high he could have fired those shots?
For him, it's important to exactly determine the trajectory through the bathroom door, and if either the defence or the state question him and say, listen, Mr. Pistorius, was he on his stumps? Did he have his prosthesis on? He must be able to tell the court. I'm of the opinion that this person was on his stumps because...
OK, Alex, let's talk about what was going on amongst those watching this evidence being given. Uncle Arnold approached June Steenkamp today. What happened there?
Well, we've seen Oscar Pistorius himself try to make contact, albeit in the third week, which is the second time that June Steenkamp's been here. He didn't seem brave enough to put out a hand, but he certainly greeted her, said hello ma'am, and she responded. Today it was Arnold Pistorius's time. We saw him walk over there. He had just a brief chat with her. She responded, and then he came back and we asked him what was happening, and he was kind enough to tell us that he wanted to offer his condolences, that he'd tried a number of times in the past but hadn't been able to, and then he said, I can't imagine her pain because he's got children himself, and the idea of losing one of his children he could relate to. And I think quite a lot of the Twitter, the social media responses that I've been getting is about how both families seem to be pretty decent families, very, very loyal to Oscar and Riva, and just terribly good people. And there's this tragedy which has forced them apart and against each other.
And June Steenkamp, Riva's mum, actually stayed in court all day today, but there were more bloody photographs.
Yeah, no, I thought that was quite surprising because there was obviously a decision taken because Barry Rue actually went over to the computer operator at one stage and said there's some sensitive photographs, take them off, don't you show them now. But if you're the mother of someone who's been killed, seeing what you know to be your daughter's pools of blood on the toilet floor or on the stairs or anywhere, in fact, is going to be upsetting. And she did need to be comforted by the people who were with her, but she managed to sit through it all and almost seemed to be making a point of sitting through and trying to learn a bit more about it.
OK, Alex, thank you. Gentlemen, thanks for your thoughts. Thanks, Morgan. Well, that's it for now, but remember that every day from 7:30 we'll be giving you continuous coverage and updates from the Pistorius trial here in Pretoria. And if you missed that, there's our special catch-up programme every night at 9:30.